Hi everybody. I'm going to start your reading today, and I'm trying to do a video so that you can play it whenever you like. So if you want to get all snuggly with a blanket, you can. So today I'm going to read you, for the next couple of weeks, Philip Pullman's The Firework Maker's Daughter. Some of you might have read it before. I'm going to set you quizzes and things on it on Teams too. So I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favourite books. So let's begin. 1,000 miles ago, in a country east of the jungle and south of the mountains, there lived a firework maker called Lal Chand and his daughter Lila. Lal Chand's wife had died when Lila was young. The child was a cross little thing, always crying and refusing her food. But Lal Chand built a cradle for her in the corner of the workshop, where she could see the sparks play and listen to the fizz and crackle of the gunpowder. Once she was out of her cradle, she toddled around the workshop, laughing as the fire flared and the sparks danced. Many a time she burnt her little fingers, but Lal Chand splashed water on them and kissed her better, and soon she was playing again. When she was old enough to learn, her father began to teach her the art of making fireworks. She began with little crackle dragons, 6 on a string. Then she learnt how to make leaping monkeys, golden sneezes and Java lights. Soon she was making all the simple fireworks and thinking about more complicated ones. One day she said, "Father, if I put some flowers of salt in a Java light instead of cloud powder, what would happen?" "Try it and see," he said. So she did. Instead of burning with a steady green glimmer, it sprayed out wicked little sparks. Each of them turned a somersault before going out. "Not bad, Lila," said Lal Chand. "What are you going to call it?" "Tumbling dragons," she said. "Excellent. Make a dozen and we'll put them into the New Year Festival display." The tumbling demons were a great success, and so were the shimmering coins that Lila invented next. As time went on, she learned more and more of her father's art, until one day she said, "Am I a proper firework maker now?" No, he said. "By no means. You don't even know the start of it. What are the ingredients of a flyaway powder?" "I don't know." "And where do you find thunder grains?" "Never heard of thunder grains." "How much scorpion oil do you put in a Krakatoa fountain?" "A teaspoonful." "What? You'd blow the whole city up. You've a lot to learn yet. Do you really want to be a firework maker, Lila?" "Of course I do. It's the only thing I want." "I was afraid so," he said. "It's my own fault. What was I thinking of? I should have sent you away to my sister Jembavati to bring you up as a dancer. This is no place for a girl. Now I come to think of it. And just look at you. Your hair's a mess. Your fingers are burnt and stained with chemicals. Your eyebrows are scorched. How am I going to find a husband for you when you look like that?" Lila was horrified. "A husband?" "Well, of course, you don't imagine you can stay here forever, do you?" They looked at each other as if they were strangers. Each of them had had quite the wrong idea about things, and they were both alarmed to find it out. So Lila said no more about being a firework maker, and Lal Chand said no more about husbands, but they both thought about them all the same. Now the king of that country owned a white elephant. It was the custom that whenever the king wanted to punish one of his courtiers, he would send him the white elephant as a present, and the expense of looking after the animal would ruin the poor man, because the white elephant had to sleep between silk sheets, enormous ones, and eat mango-flavoured Turkish delight, tons of it, and have his tusks covered in gold leaf every morning. When the courtier had no money left at all, the white elephant would be returned to the king, ready for his next victim. Wherever the white elephant went, his personal servant had to go too. The servant's name was Shulak, and he was the same age as Lila. In fact, they were friends. Every afternoon, Shulak would take the white elephant out for his exercise, because the elephant would go with no one else. And there was a reason for this. Shulak was the only person besides Lila who knew that the elephant could talk. One day, Lila went to visit Shulak and the white elephant. She arrived at the elephant house in time to hear the elephant master losing his temper. "You horrible little boy," he roared. "You've done it again, haven't you?" Done what? Said Shulak innocently. Look, said the elephant master, pointing with a quivering finger at the white elephant's snowy flanks. Written all over his side in charcoal and paint were dozens of slogans. Eat at the Golden Lantern, Bangkok Wanderers for the Cup, Star of India Tandoori House, and right at the very top of the white elephant's back, in great big letters, Chang loves lotus blossom, true, kiss, kiss, kiss. And here is what he looked like. Can you see? He's using him as an advert board. Cheeky. Every day this elephant comes home with graffiti all over him, shouted the elephant master. Why don't you stop people doing it? I can't understand how it happens, master, said Shulak. Mind you, the traffic's awful. I've got to watch those rickshaw drivers like a hawk. I can't look out for graffiti artists as well. They just slap it up and run. But Chang loves lotus blossom, true. Must have taken a good 10 minutes on a step ladder. Yeah, it's a mystery to me, master. Shall I clean it off? All of it. There's a job coming up in a day or two, and I want this animal clean. And the elephant master stormed off, leaving Shulak and Lila with the elephant. Hello, Hamlet, said Lila. Hello, Lila, said the elephant. Look at what this obnoxious brat has reduced me to, a walking billboard. Stop fussing, said Shulak. Look, we've got 18 rupees already and 10 annas from the Tandoori House. And Chang gave me a whole rupee for letting him write that on the top. We're nearly there, Hamlet. The shame! Cried Hamlet, shaking his great head. You mean you charge people money to write on him? Said Lila. Of course, said Shulak. It's dead lucky to write your name on a white elephant. When we've got enough, we're going to run away. Trouble is, he's in love with a lady elephant at the zoo. You ought to see him blush when we go past, like a ton of strawberry ice cream. She's called Frangipani, said Hamlet mournfully. But she won't even look at me, and now there's another job coming up. Another poor man to bankrupt. Oh, I hate Turkish delight. I detest silk sheets, and I loathe gold leaf on my tusks. Oh, I wish I was a normal, dull, grey elephant. No, you don't, said Shulak. We've got plans, Hamlet, remember? I'm teaching him to sing, Lila. We'll change his name to Luciano Elefanti, and the world will be our oyster. But why are you looking so sad, Lila? Said Hamlet, as Shulak began to scrub him down. My father won't tell me the final secret of firework making, said Lila. I've learnt all there is to know about flyaway powder, thunder grains and scorpion oil and spark repellent and glimmer juice and salts of shadow, but there's something else I need to know, and he won't tell me. Tricky, said Shulak. Shall I ask him for you? If he won't tell me, he certainly won't tell you, said Lila. He won't know he's doing it, said Shulak. You leave it to me. So that evening after he'd settled Hamlet down for the night, Shulak called at the firework maker's workshop. It lay down a little winding alley full of crackling smells and pungent noises between fried prawn stall and the batik painters. He found Lal Chand in the courtyard under the warm stars, mixing up some red glow paste. Hello, Shulak, said Lal Chand. I hear the white elephant's going to be presented to Lord Parakeet tomorrow. How long do you think his money'll last? A week, I reckon, said Shulak. Though you never know, we might run away before then. I've nearly got enough to take us to India. I thought I might take up firework making when we got there. Nice trade. Nice trade, my foot, said Lal Chand. Firework making is a sacred art. You need talent and dedication and the favour of the gods before you can become a firework maker. The only thing you're dedicated to is idleness, you scamp. How did you become a firework maker then? I was apprenticed to my father, and then I had to be tested to see whether I had the 3 gifts. The 3 gifts, eh? Said Shulak, who had no idea what the 3 gifts were. Probably Lila did, he thought. And did you have them? Of course I did. And that's it. Sounds easy. I bet I could pass that test. I've got a lot more than 3 gifts. Said Lal Chand. That's not all. Then came the most difficult and dangerous part of the whole apprenticeship. Every firework maker, and he lowered his voice and looked around to make sure no one was listening. Every firework maker has to travel to the grotto of Razvani, the fire fiend, in the heart of Mount Merapi, and bring back some of the royal sulphur. That's the ingredient that makes the finest fireworks. Without that, no one can ever be a true firework maker. Aha, said Chulak. Royal sulphur, Mount Merapi, that's a volcano, isn't it? Yes, you pestilential boy. And I've already told you far more than I should. This is a secret. Do you understand? Of course, said Chulak, looking solemn. I can keep a secret. And Lal Chand had the uneasy feeling that he'd been tricked, though he couldn't imagine why. Next morning, while Lal Chand was at the paper merchant's buying some cardboard tubes, Lila went to the elephant house to see Chulak. When she heard what Lal Chand had told him, she was furious. Mount Merapi, Razvani, the royal sulphur, and he wasn't going to tell me? Oh, I'll never forgive him. It's a bit drastic, said Chulak, who was busy making the elephant ready for his new job. He's only thinking of you. It's dangerous after all. You won't catch me going up there. She said. It's all right to let me make golden sneezes and Java lights, I suppose, little baby things, but not to let me become a real firework maker. He wants me to stay a child forever. Well, I'm not going to, Chulak. I've had enough. I'm going to Mount Merapi and I'm going to bring back the royal sulphur and I'll set up as a firework maker on my own and put my father out of business. You see if I don't. No, wait, you ought to talk to him. But Lila wouldn't listen. She ran straight home, packed a little food to eat and a blanket and a few bronze coins and left a note on the workshop bench. Dear Father, I have completed my apprenticeship. Thank you for all you have taught me. I am going to seek the royal sulphur from Razvani, the fire fiend, and I shall probably not see you again. Your ex-daughter, Lila. Then she thought she should take something to show Razvani her skill and packed a few self-igniting crackle dragons. One of the last things she had invented was a new way of setting them off. You just had to pull a string instead of setting light to them. Because the string was soaked with a solution of fire crystals. She put 3 of them in her bag, took one last look around the workshop and slipped away. When Lal Chand came back and found her note, he read it with horror. Oh, Lila, Lila, you don't know what you're doing, he cried and ran out into the alley. Have you seen Lila? He asked the fried prawn seller. She went off in that direction about half an hour ago. She had a bundle on her back, added the batik painter. Looked as if she was going on a journey. Lal Chand hurried after her at once, but he was an old man with a weak heart and couldn't run fast, and the streets were crowded. Rickshaw drivers jostled with bullock carts. A caravan of silk traders was pushing its way through the market, and in the grand boulevard a procession was going past. The crowd was so thick that Lal Chand couldn't move any further. The reason for all of the excitement was that the white elephant was being led to his new owner. Chulak was leading Hamlet at the head of the procession, and with them came musicians playing bamboo flutes and banging teak drums and dancers swaying and snapping their fingernails, and a troop of servants with tape measures ready to measure Hamlet's new home for the silk curtains and velvet carpets the owner would have to buy. Flags flapped and banners waved in the sunlight, and the white elephant shone like a snowy mountain. Lal Chand forced his way through the crowd to Chulak's side. Did you tell Lila about Razvani and the royal sulphur? Of course, said Chulak. You should have told her yourself. Why? Because she's gone, you wretch. She's gone off by herself to Mount Merapi, and she doesn't know the rest of the secret. Is there more then? Of course there is, said Lal Chand, struggling to keep up. No one can go to the fire fiend's grotto without protection. She needs a flask of magic water from the goddess of the Emerald Lake, otherwise she'll perish in the flames. Oh, Chulak, what have you done? Chulak gulped. They were nearly at the house of the white elephant's new owner, and they had to slow down to allow all the dancers and musicians and flag bearers to get through the gate first and form 2 lines for the white elephant to walk between. Then Hamlet whispered, just loud enough for Chulak to hear. I'll find her. Help me get away tonight, Shulak, and we'll go and take Lila the magic water. Good idea, whispered Shulak, beaming. Just what I was going to suggest. He turned to Lal Chand and said, Listen, I've got a proposition. Me and Hamlet will find her. We'll get out tonight. Emerald Lake Goddess, magic water, Mount Merapi, nothing to it. Then Shulak turned to the servants. Mind out the way, he called. We've got to get him round the corner. Dear, dear, what a narrow gate. That'll have to come down. And what's this, gravel? You want the white elephant to walk on gravel? Fetch a carpet at once, a red one. Go on, hurry. He clapped his hands and the servants bowed and scampered away. In the background, the new owner was tearing his hair. Shulak whispered to Lal Chand once more. Don't worry, we'll get away tonight. All we need is a tarpaulin. A tarpaulin? Whatever for? No time to explain now. Just bring one to the gate tonight. And Lal Chand had to make do with that. He went back to the workshop feeling heavy-hearted. And I'll read the next part for you tomorrow. I hope you liked it. So some of the words in there you won't recognise because they might be things that you haven't heard of before, like rickshaws or batik painters. So maybe have a think about where this is set tonight, and then we'll talk about it later on in the week. See if you can find out what a batik painter might be. Maybe your mum and dad will know. I'll see you in the morning. Bye.